it's insane to think of the jump between, oh, well, I have this elo and then this person has this elo. But anyway, going to game number 1 here, megD on the Hattori. And we've seen, what have we seen so far from megD this tournament?
I mean, megD has played a variation of very consistent characters, and we're seeing him right now on the Hattori with some very solid weapons. I mean, Sword is the image of consistency. As we see him here going for these very consistent neutral hits. He finds this neutral light into the neutral signature. Luna fading away from the weapon throw. Will be able to make it back to the wall. Goes for the recovery. Will be able to find it, but still damage deficit in the favor of megD as Luna on this Lucian. I mean, this is the cat. I think this is an important thing to note, because we saw Luna previously fighting Darwin, and in that set he played Ragnar and Mordex, and in that set I feel like that's him playing a bit more casually. But the moment Luna locks in this Lucian, there's so much threat to assess as Luna finds that neutral signature and turns around this huge lead that megD managed to find, and Luna already finding some stray hits with these blasters. The side sig will secure the equalization. megD not taking too much damage on this second stock, but still, Luna is a player who is so good at turning around games without like any sort of build up. He will just find the opportunity and build off that so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen countless times just both players being able to capitalize on the smallest opening, and that's what makes these players so good at the game. I mean, right there, good stacked option with that delay into Nair. I mean, Luna's just playing really well with these blasters, and now megD's starting to capitalize a little bit on that vertical area that Luna is occupying. And it's starting to get a little bit closer. I mean, I think it's always going to be pretty close between these two. I mean, they fought each other so much. A good little punish there from megD, a good sider. But, I mean, just not a whole lot is different between these two. They're both very ambitious players. They're both very quick on their feet. But Luna getting that second KO, beautiful recovery. But, yeah, they're just playing really fast weapons. I think Spear might be the slowest weapon on the field, which is definitely saying something.
Yeah, absolutely. Luna with the blasters in hand now does manage to catch the approach by megD. It's disarmed by the neutral. No weapon in hand, megD on this sword. And I mean, Hattori is an interesting pick by megD because it's not an unseen pick, but we've seen the Val, we've seen the Asuri. The Spear is a bit slower, like you said. I mean, Spear is not a slow weapon, but in comparison to what megD plays, it's a bit slower than what he's used to. And regardless, he's making it work against Luna as he finds these stray hits. Luna still having a small damage lead over megD as he's in this early orange, but Luna cannot afford to get comfortable. I mean, I've said it many a time in many other tournaments. Luna has like almost a definitive last stock buff. Like when he's on this last stock, he's so much more analytical of what his opponent is going for. But megD is the analytical player. He's methodical and he's analytical, and he knows what you're trying to go for. Regardless, if you're Luna, that's not necessarily enough to win, as he finds these like this massive neutral into the neutral layer. Downlight won't connect. Maybe finds the side light, and Luna searching for these stray hits. Side light, one recovery will do it. The side sig not going to connect. Looking for this channel from the side, will find the side air, but won't secure the knockout. Katars in hand now. That is not the optimal knockout option for Lucian. megD equalizing up the damage. The side sig not going to connect for the punish. This is very down to the wire for this first game as Luna goes away the Katars. The side sig will come through, and megD will take it for the first game. Less damage dealt, but the victory is more than enough if you are megD going into this second game. And megD, I mean, I mean, I don't know if you, I doubted the Hattori a tiny bit compared to the rest of the picks, but
oh, for sure,
he made it work. Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, he just played so well near the end. I think Luna had quite a bit of a lead there too, but definitely brought it back with that spear and that sword, you know. I think Luna kind of screwed up a little bit playing with that dash right at the end there while megD was coming back to stage. maybe just misinputting, trying to pick up the weapon. But already off to a quick start for both players. Taking a little bit more than 40 damage here for both players. But Luna, these blasters starting to go off a little bit. I mean, blasters we've seen countless times. I think I saw 125 lock-ins of Lucian for Luna on Pro Stats.
Ooh.
And we're seeing why that is. The Lucian just looks so good. The blasters are so clean. And you can never say, oh, well, this one player's boosted by a weapon, or this person's like bad because they don't play this weapon.
For sure. At this level of play, like, there's so much experience. I mean, you see that. Like, try do that in your like 2100, 2000 games. Find that nair in that corrector stage. You're not going to, because Luna, like, he finds that movement, and you can see why he's so comfortable on this Lucian. And regardless of the fact that megD took that first game, you're not seeing any dissolution in how confident he is. He has so much momentum into this first stock. Finds the side air, not going to be enough despite the low defense of Hattori. The down air will secure it, and megD taking the first stock once again, sticking with this Hattori, swapping over to the spear, in fact, for this damage build in comparison to the sword. Then we're looking for the knockout option on these Katars, which is a bit less, you know, comfortable in comparison to the blasters. Having that D-Light recovery, having that D-Light side air is much more safe. The neutral air will secure it, and now Luna equalizing up comfortably.
It didn't even need Katars to get the KO. It's like, yeah, I need a KO, but Katars, man, I don't. No.
It's not the strat. It's not the strat.
It's just not it. It is just not it. But megD has quite a bit of a lead here on Luna, kind of building off that momentum from game number 1. But I think Luna's starting to make a little bit of a comeback, tiny bit of damage built. But like we said, we've seen many times before Luna can just capitalize.
Yeah, Luna, he's so like momentum based, right? Like he'll play this slow neutral, and megD capitalizing off the slow neutral, finding that neutral signature. But like he'll play the slow neutral and then look for an opening, and then just maximize his damage off that with all of the most optimal options. But megD can drag you out to the longest possible time. It's a nice side air into a neutral light. D-Light into recovery by Luna, not going to be enough. Goes for the neutral signature. megD still holding onto the second sock. Down air with the spear. Every hit he gets is stray damage that gives him an advantage on this final stock, and Luna will find the side signature. But still, I mean, megD found enough hits to give him an advantage on this final stock, so Luna has to play a more safe game here. And megD, he knows how to adapt to the difference in pacing. He knows how to adapt to the more slow game. He can play safer for the fast game. So if you're Luna, I mean, Luna has fought megD enough to know how to play against that. And we're seeing that right now as he plays his very on-off switch playstyle with these Katars, but then he just into the weapon throw. And megD now 2-0 up over Luna.
Bro, megD just uses that N-Sig so well. I mean, we saw, I think the first stock was ended by D-Light into GC N-Sig. I mean, what do you say? It's just a really good tool, really good. I mean, megD's just using it perfectly. Oh, yeah, so you know how we said it wasn't really a normal pick for megD? Yeah, level 76. But anyway, besides that, but yeah, megD's always just played so well with those signatures. I think even in 2v2s, they played pretty well with the Val Sigs. But, I mean, the Sword N Sigs just doing really well. The well-placed side Sigs last game are also really good. But Luna's just kind of struggling right now. I mean, he just... I don't know.
Dude, it's if you're Luna, you've, like, to my knowledge, Lucian is the pick for Luna right now. Like, in majors, in lands, in communities, it's been the Lucian. And you've locked in the Lucian twice against a player who has played other characters consistently. And now he's locked in this Hattori, and magically out of nowhere, he's taken 2 games off you if you're Luna, you've got to like debate who you pick into this. And apparently, if you're specifically Luna, you look in the Lucian again. And I mean, it's not like these games have been like a wash. He's looked at the Lucian and it's always been down to the last stock. So there's got to be something that Luna has in his pocket, in his mental, that's sort of like an adaptation, a mental adaptation to how he's approaching this Hattori coming from megD. And I mean, the thing that Hattori is known most for is that spear, because it's the more standout weapon for this character. It's the string weapon. It has these signatures that can really just decimate your signature, your stocks if not played against correctly. And Luna hasn't been, I think, respecting that because of the dominance that megD's been putting out. And so I think if you're Luna, honestly, you've got to play slower. Like, he's been playing a very fast game. It's either you play slower and more respective, or you play so fast that megD can't find his footing.
Yeah, I think that's where Guichibo really has their foot in the door. I mean, you see the constant strings of cannon and guitars. Small little string there from Luna, doing a tiny bit of damage. Has the lead, actually, a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that high dex, like, quick reaction time with the guitars and cannon, it just does so well against some of these high-level players. I think, who did we see Guichibo go against earlier? I think it was megD. 3-1. Took half an hour, by the way. I just want to point that out.
Dude.
But it was a 4-game set, and it took half an hour. But anyway, besides that point, I mean, it looks pretty even so far. I mean, Luna's starting to take the pace a little bit slower, trying to find a little bit better options, but a beautiful combo there for megD.
megD! Okay, that is a pace that I did not expect from megD. I mean, I've said he's a very patient and adaptive player, but, I mean, that's huge. And regardless, speaking of huge, Luna will find a huge recovery, but regardless, megD taking this first stock, that's a reality in which megD, he's playing a game 3 where it's possible he 3-0s Luna. And I know Caster's Curse exists. I'm well aware of that. And going into this game,
How are you?
Trust me, I am. And going into this game, we're seeing very neck and neck play. Luna finding some guitars damage, but he's not finding these reads. I mean, like I said, Luna's very momentum based, but he needs to find the reads to build that momentum. And regardless, he does have a small damage lead here as he finds these blasters hits, but they're not like combos; they're stray hits. And megD is very good at stray hits as well. And so, if you're Luna and you're looking to take this lead, like convincingly, you need these like combos, you need these reads. And so far, it's back to being neck and neck as Luna gets up to the side with the side air. And the side air will disarm, weapon throw up over onto the spear, will stick on the sword, but the disarm through the nair will come out of Luna, and now sticking with these guitars over onto the blasters. Needs to be very careful here. Both players within range of being knocked out the side air. And Luna will fall. megD poised to take a 3-0 over the PR1 1v1 player in North America on his most consistent ones pick.
I mean, megD's always been a person of surprises. I think their break, what was it? It was a set against Phazon in, I want to say Spring Championship. That sounds about right. About a few years ago. And I mean, I don't even think anybody heard of megD before then. But after that, they just kept popping off tournament after tournament, placing so well. I think no, you know what? It might have been Winters. It might have been Winters when Boomy won. It might have been, but regardless of that, I mean, megD's always just been that player just to, find a spot and like, okay, I'm gonna sit here for a little bit and see what happens. And I mean, right now they're sitting pretty far in the lead in this game at number 3.
Yeah,
I mean,
Luna taking a small lead in damage, but it's a case of every single hit is like a transfer between who's in the lead, and Luna needs to play this game as like effectively as possible because he's so close to he's so close to losing out to megD and going down 0-3 for the down air. The Nair will come through. Luna on the blasters, the more effective and knockout option. megD looking for the sea light into side into recovery. Recovery! And Luna will find the knockout onto megD, at least rejecting the 3-0 by megD.
That was real close. And what I am noticing, megD is doing a really good job with these side air punishes. I mean, Luna constantly going for those downers on blasters. And even the D-lights, megD just punish with side air, punish with side air. Oh, you missed an attack. Punish with side air. Doing a really good job of getting all those options and doing tons of damage and a really good token from in that. But I don't know. We got a character swap coming in though. So this is the character Luna, kind of originally popped off with the Taros, the one that completely decimated the pro seed, that got the meta changed from axe and hammer to bow, katars, scythe. Anyway, so moving on into Brawlhaven, game number 4. I'm excited for this one. We're going to see a little bit of an adaptation there from Luna going on to the Taros. But megD's sticking with his Hattori pick, One loss is not very much to him.
Dude.
So we're going to go right back into it.
I feel like you're underselling the fact that Luna is back on Taros, because this is the legend that he found his first ever, dominance and relevance with. I mean, back in the day, back in last year, when he was really making a name for himself, it was the Taros, it was the Roman Reigns, especially in the 1v1s. And now we're seeing it come back with the minor nerfs we've seen to Hammer. I guess that's enough for Luna. And we're still seeing the same speed come out of his character. I mean, this character is known for lower decks and being a bit more clunky. Regardless, Luna making it look speedy, but megD, the unjumpable confirm of that delay into neutral signature will secure a small early lead, but Taros is... I mean, if you're looking for any character that can find a knockout of a straight hit, it's Taros, and there it is with the down air. I'm curious if he locks in the axe or the hammer here. Yeah, definitely looking in the axe. He had megD respawn and still made the choice to swap to the axe. Over onto the hammer now. It's the double scoop weapon skins that we see out of him with the double snow scooping skins on hammer.
I'll shovel your driveway.
Absolutely.
I got 2 of them.
Over on to the axe right now, but regardless, I don't know if he's regretting this terrorist pick, because so far megD really showing how much Hattori can get done in this one space as he finds the side signature. And now Luna almost a full stock down behind megD, hammer in hand, the weapon that a lot of players are arguing is one of, if not the worst in 1v1s. And Luna himself has said that he struggles a lot with hammer, especially in these 1v1s. So it's gonna be tough for him looking for these grounded downlights. Finds the nair, but still, every hit that megD finds is an advantage for him on this final stock, and now a full stock up for megD. Luna struggling a lot here. Finds the neutral layer, but still, every hit he finds is traded out by megD.
And he's finally getting that stomp cider. It's barely enough to send off screen. Luna going down for a ground pound. megD barely avoiding that with a nice little scoop there from Luna into nair. Stocks are evened up. I wish I could say the same for damage. Luna just needs to deal so much damage here real quickly, but luckily he's got the Taros. And I mean, listen, you were judging me for downplaying this Taros, but now, I mean, look at you now. You're saying, oh, well, I mean, Taros isn't doing too good against megD. I mean,
hold up.
I mean, come on, you can't go back on your word.
In terms of raw numbers, the Taros is not doing as good. But if you want a legend to deal raw damage in as quickly as possible, it's Taros. And so far, I mean, Luna's kind of getting it done. megD looking a bit terrified of the Taros, but regardless, the DI into recovery will do it. And megD will actually take the 3-1 over Luna.